Okay, so I got this weird lock, and I want to share it with you guys. I'm gonna glaze over the act of picking it, because it's fairly standard in terms of picking, which, now that I've got it open, I'm a little surprised by, to be honest. And also this one, the keys didn't have very crazy bidding or anything. This is apparently, like, the lock to, like, the back of an ATM or a cash box or something to that effect. There's a lot of questions I have about this, but it is made by a company called National Cash Register, and all the keys are marked Teller. And so it's something, I don't know. I got it at Princess Auto from their salvage section. They had a bunch of them. It was $3. Your guess is kind of as good as mine. Although if you think your guess is better, feel free to let me know, like, please. Anyway. This lock has some of the craziest shit inside of it I've ever seen inside a lock like this. I expected cheap, and it's not. It's actually very well made. So I guess I'll start by just showing you. I already took one. I've taken these two apart. I'm going to show you what was inside that one, because this one is the weird one. These two cylinders both use this key. These two cylinders each have their own keys. And the farthest cylinder to the side, the one that I've got open, is also limited. It can only turn 90 degrees. And the way that they did that was with a master keying sheath. This is crazy to me. So it's got this on it, and it can only move 90 degrees, and that means that when it's assembled inside the lock, because of the bidding, these two are connected together, and like it limits the rotation of the whole unit together. It's really weird. I'm in fact positive that there's a key that can turn this the other way, because when I took all the pins out and it was still assembled, this can actually turn 180 degrees in place. The actuator is like this lobe shape, so this also limits it to 100, to, like, I don't know, there's a lot of... I feel like all of this would make a lot more sense if I could see what this was supposed to plug into, because this looks to me like it's sort of meant to attach to it, like this is a replacement part to something. And I feel like what it attaches to would make a lot more sense of all of these features that it has. But here, that pin and one of these two cutouts, this cutout, is how it limits the motion between these two. But then, in addition to that, inside the lock body, there's another, let me see if I get there. Alright. Awkward. I'm planning a whole better filming rig, so this is a temporary setup, and I apologize for its crappiness. So, there. There's a pin down in the lock body there. Also, the way that they've machined these cylinders, they have a lip at the back to hold the sheath in place, which was kind of surprising when I tried to gut it. This one I gutted from the top. The one beside it I gutted more traditionally, and it was a bad idea to do it that way, it turns out. But these are held in with, like, roll pins for some reason. And the roll pins, this one's just a piece of wire so that I can take it back out, but the roll pins block the keyway so that it's not, so that you can't bypass it. It's super, like, clever, but weirdly overbuilt, considering that the pins inside of it are all standard. It's all standard pins inside of it. And it was master keyed, which I guess it has to be for the way it interacts with the shear line. None of the keys seem to open any of the other cylinders, so this appears to be, like, potentially keyed up to a literal master key for the company or something like that. I don't know. It's possible that this part ended up in Princess Auto's like surplus section because it was purchased for a particular reason that it never met. And so this might not be all of the original order that it was a part of, or some such. You know what? Like, there's so many questions I have about this. This is, like, so weird. But it's extremely well machined. And it's extremely well machined with a sheath built into it that is basically of a design that I've been trying to do myself. So I'm probably going to go back to Princess Auto and buy all of these and consider this like a weird godsend of useful parts, because as far as I can tell, they're all master keyed the same way, but none of these 3 cylinders are limited in their motion. Yeah. So these ones can turn all the way around. And there's no shenanigans going on. I guess I could take this one apart on camera so that you guys can see what's going on in here, because this is some shit. I don't even know. Of course, I did this in a way where it's going to be super hard to get off of here. Did I have a pair of pliers? Oh, no. Alright. So, the first time I gutted this, it was a little bit of a mess. I'm going to try again, and we're going to see if I can do any better this time. But I kind of doubt it, because this thing's just weird? Okay, so, when I put this sheath in, it's going to end up underneath, no, this shim in, it's going to end up underneath the sheath. But when I try to pull the whole unit out, the sheath is going to try to come with it, so I need to try to, like, wedge this in there to keep the sheath in place. This is weird. Also, this follower I made was supposed to be sized for Americans, and it's actually a little small for Americans, which turned out to be pretty useful here. It's still a little small, especially, like, once the thickness of the sheath is gone, but if I can keep the sheath in there, it actually fits pretty well. So we're gonna try this again. It may not work very well. I'm gonna go just a little scooch. Okay, it looks like the sheath is sticking. There must be... The last time I did this, it was picked. And so I probably picked it in a way where the sheath was free, and now that I'm using the key, the sheath is still held by the pins, which is making this easier than when I did it after picking it. Awesome. Okay. So, these are all standard. They're all very nicely done. Very good flats on the tops of them. Not all rounded on both ends. They're good. It does appear... It's hard to say if it's used or not, I guess is the way I'll say this. Because, like, obviously there's some wear on them that I put on there. And they all look a little dirty. There's a good patina on these bits. But it could have just been sitting around, right? Like, you never know. Okay, this way. This is giving me way less trouble than when I picked it open, I'm not gonna lie. When I picked it open, this was a huge butthole. Because the sheath came free and bits went flying, and because there's a huge gap with the follower, so this is nice. Okay, also that means that this probably isn't pinned exactly the way it was from the factory. In theory, it's pinned the same as that other set, so I'm going to compare them and see if they're different or not, but I don't know. I just sort of put them back together in a way that they fit. Alright. One of the wafers doesn't want to come out. Well, he doesn't want to peek. I'm going to just tip him. There we go. Springs came too. That's fine. One of the springs is stuck under the thingy, little plate, and I think it's that one. I'm not going to get too vigorous with it with the follower like this. There's these guys. Ooh. Ugh. Tiny master pins. Okay, there's some springs, and there. That was easy. So this one, as you can see, doesn't have any cutouts or anything on it. This doesn't have any motion limiting of any kind. And likewise, there's nothing here on this, the way there is on the other one. And I'm going to consider this some of the most useful, personally to me, parts I've ever just found when taking apart a lock. Especially considering that I took one look at this thing and entirely incorrectly thought I was looking at like an M5 keyway piece of shit lock with somebody's logo on it. Because at a glance through the packaging, this kind of looked like an M5 keyway to me, but it's not. It's... I have no idea. Here, let's take a look at the back of that. You can see I have... it might be like kind of like a Schlage. It looks like this is smaller than like a Schlage keyway though. I don't know. This might be something proprietary. They've got a code on them. The way this code is aligned, it suggests that they're supposed to be pins down in assembly, which is weird to a North American, I guess. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not familiar. Some research suggests that the company doesn't use this logo anymore. This is like excellent. Here, let me just do this, and then I can try to. Yeah. So the company doesn't apparently use this logo anymore. Their website currently has a fancier, newer looking logo, and when I Google search by image with their company name, I find this logo on like older looking publications. And stuff that doesn't look current by like a wide margin, actually. So it's possible that this is quite old lock, but to be frank, the level of patina on it doesn't suggest that it's that old to me, unless it was like kept somewhere really like clean and nice, and I doubt it, because it's like industrial parts or something. That just seems weird to me. But yeah, this is great. I haven't gotten the other two apart because I only have a piece of brass rod that's the right thickness to punch out these roll pins, and that's no fun. So I'm probably going to try to figure something out a little bit better for that at some point. But hopefully go get my hands on some more of these. I'm a little broke right now after this desk and various associated endeavors. But I can't imagine a lot of other people are going to be buying these things off the shelf other than, like, me. And to be frank, I'm not sure if there's a lock sport community where I live. There doesn't seem to be. The locksmith shop that I've gone to a few times seems to consider me like a genuine oddity that they're fascinated by when I go in and like pick a lock based on the key, or talk to them about is this fun to pick, or stuff like that. Like that, I'm not saying that they're against it. They're actually quite into it, and I've helped them out with like they had like oh, it's irrelevant. They gave me like a side quest once, and I helped them out with a thing, and they gave me a discount on a padlock. But anyway, like I don't think there's anybody else in the community where I live. There doesn't seem to be any evidence of it that I've seen, or if there is, maybe they don't like congregate or talk about it or something. I have no idea. Anyway, like, but I'm gonna hopefully be able to snag these next month when I got some cash again, because they had a bunch of different ones, and they weren't all like this. There were double ones, there were single ones that all seemed to be part of like the same thing, like catalog. I don't know what to call it. I guess catalog, yeah. But this is some crazy shit, and I had to share. And so I apologize for the obvious inadequacies of my filming setup and audio issues right now, because, like, I'm working on it. I got plans. Don't you guys worry. I can't make any promises about when this will happen, but I do have an idea for the cheapest actual filming rig possible. Like, you know, a box with PVC pipe and a mount for the camera and a light in it. And, oh, that'll be nice to have a light in it. Anyway, it's kind of more like an overhead projector that projects onto the internet. My plan is for it to double for me to project the map into a Discord call for Dungeons & Dragons. So if it can do that, it can definitely do what I'm doing now better than... I currently have a webcam attached to a small shelf and a lot of hope. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling about my crappy setup, and I'm going to end this video because I'm done showing you guys this crazy shit that... Like, look at that. Anyway, you guys have a nice day. Don't pick locks you don't own, unless, you know, you have permission, I guess. Don't be a dick. Anyway, have a good one, guys.